Alright, so we're working on the truck and we got CAT scans going on. Oh, you're getting all comfortable now. Nana, what's wrong? So anyway, alright, pulling the bed off of the Ford. This is the Holmes 1100 hydraulic bed. I took the fiberglass pieces off the sides because I didn't want to beat them up, because they are about unobtainium. I mean, you're not going to find them anywhere, but they're actually in really good shape. Need a little work, but nothing major. But Holmes Trooper Model 1100, and they got little trooper hats on the side, so I thought it was neat. And anyway, so them are nice, they're pretty nice. Little work, but we'll get them. So let me see, why am I pulling this bed off and putting it on the other wrecker? Well, this truck is older, but that bed is older. This is a 78, 79 model bed, and I've got reasons I do things, and sometimes I do, you know, sort of stupid stuff, like that crane right there. You know, you go through all the work you go through just to work harder. So I needed it, so I went through a lot to get it, but I didn't have to pay for it. I mean, I didn't have to go, you know, save money or finance something. You know, it was a minimal cost, let's just put it that way. So the plan here is, I've got an issue. Both of these forklifts have got really tall masts on them, and I needed something that would go under both of them buildings over there, and other buildings, of course, without hitting. And you know, the plan is to set the engine up, one of the engines over in this part, and what I've decided to do is I'm going to extend out on that side over there and put the Erie engine over that way, because I want to leave this open in the center, because we come out here quite often and just sit around, and seeing how, you know, the engines are here and all that is pretty neat. And me and my wife and friends and stuff, and you know, even though we're not firing the boiler up and running it, it's still neat to be out here. It's nice and cool under this roof too. But let me get back to my point. The point is if I get a forklift that's a short forklift, then it's not going to be able to go off-road. And when I come in this building here with my big forklifts, I'll just tear the roof up, and I really can't move a lot. So I've got other wreckers, but they're pretty tall too. So what I'm building is basically a low hydraulic lifting machine. And I'm not putting the wheel lift on the back because I want to be able to back all the way up to what I'm doing. This is not for towing, and I don't know that I'll ever put it on the road. I'm just putting it together here, and I might, you know, you never know. But anyway, so I'll be able to come in here and back in and load and lift to do whatever I need to do. And the other reason, so I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, well, just leave the bed that's on it, but there's an issue there also. This bed here is what's referred to as a mechanical bed. There's no hydraulics on it at all. So you hand crank this, here's your lever, that's what raises and lowers the boom. It's a mechanical, as in you got to pull that lever, and then you got to let this cable out, the winch cable, and then slide the boom out, and that's how you get the extension. Well, first, it's not rated nearly as high because it's only a 4x4 piece of tubing, and it looks like it's probably 3/16, maybe a quarter inch. I mean, less than a quarter. It's probably 1/8 inch or 3/16 thick. So strength-wise, it don't have the strength the other one's got. But the problem is when you dog these wreckers in, or these winches in, it's either up or down. There's no easing into it. You don't go slow with these things. You just go full blast or nothing at all. And that's just the way they work. Now, they're great for pulling cars out when they're stuck and stuff like that, but when it comes to finesse, they don't have any. So no wheel lift, because I want to be able to back all the way up to what I'm lifting. And like I said, I want to keep it low, keep the whole truck just as low as I can get it. And I think that's going to solve the problem. And like I said, that's a 4x4, and this is more like I'm going to say at least a 4x6. It might be 5x6, well, 4x6. I think it's 4x6 inside tube. So taller, stronger, and it should do our job we need to do. So, and it's not in that bad a shape. Hoses, you know, need some replacing, but pretty good shape. And isn't that right, Nana? Tell them, Nana. Tell them it's in good shape. Tell them it's in good shape. All right, folks. I think we're ready to take this bed off. I'm not sure. I hope. So we're gonna get some chains on it. Let me think of my tire. So I had a tire blowout on this thing, and I had this one laying out back with some other tires. I have no clue where it came from, but it looked really good until I put it on. And then when I aired it up, it started cracking. And then as I used it, it started falling off and cracking. So I bought a new tire, and I've got it ready to go on, but I'm just trying to get all I can get out of this one, which I think I've got about all of it out. So anyway, so it runs the inner tube anyway, but so I plan on getting my new tire on there for long. It's 14 ply, so new tires are not that cheap, but it's worth it on that thing. All right, so let's get this thing chained up, see if we can pick it. All right. Alright folks, we finally got it off. It was catching on this back end because this side's got a mud flap and that side don't. But we do have the mud flap for this side. But anyway, we got to do a little work on the body, but nothing major. But it's off. You think the other gas tank's bad? I could already see that one had a leak in it, rusted spot. So anyway, it's a good parts truck, I guess. So we're gonna get that truck moved out of the way and get this. Well, I gotta get the hydraulic pump off yet, but yeah, we're definitely not using any of their wiring. All right, folks, here's our hydraulic pump on our Ford wrecker, and as you can see, it's a direct mount. Now I'm gonna pull these off, slide the pump out, but I'm betting this is gonna be a 13 spline 7/8. That's what most of these are. And you can run a PTO shaft into that spline and use this externally with a shaft. But here's the problem. Well, I'll show you the problem once we get it off. And we'll make sure that's the size it is anyway, but we'll get these bolts off of it real quick. All right. Okay, folks, here's the pump off, and just want to show you it is a 7/8 13 spline. And the problem with these is when you put a yoke on them, they slide on. In other words, they're really a little bit loose, and you can't get the set screw to tighten up enough either way to get them to keep from wobbling, and it ends up giving you issues. So we probably won't use this pump, but you never know. We'll see what happens. All right, so this truck's done, and next is to get the bed off the other one. All right, folks, so when I got through with the other video, I started a new video on pressure washing it, and then when I started doing the bed, I erased everything that was on the video. So I erased the entire video of the pressure washing. So I didn't pressure wash it real good. I just went over it real quick, but you can see it knocked most of that off, at least where I could see out of the windows. So we'll do a little better job later, but anyway, the truck's really in good shape. There's absolutely no rust on it. I think I'm very impressed with this frame. I'm really surprised at how they done it. So the bed's ready to come off, and like I said, this is a cabin chassis and not a dually. Frame is straight as an arrow. On a dually it would curve up, bend around. It wouldn't be nearly this narrow. It wouldn't be 34 inches on this particular style truck. So I'm going to try to put a little air in the tires. I know the inside tire on the other side's got a big hole in the side, but I'm going to try to get a little air in the tire before I let it down. But as for everything on the bed, one thing I have not unhooked is the wiring, which I'm not too worried about, because it's all going to have to be redone. And I've got to cut these mud flaps off, because they're welded on, or bolted, well, welded and bolted, but they go under the spring. So they're bolted to the frame of the truck in here, and then the outside of the bed over here. So we can take care of that issue also. And then may take the taillights out later, them LEDs, and put in the other truck, or the other bed. But and we may not, we'll see. But anyways, that's where we're at. Hopefully I'll have this thing set off here in a little bit, and I'll show you what a excellent job that somebody done on reinforcing this frame. I'm really impressed. Don't know who or why they went through the trouble they did, but there was no chance that this thing, in my opinion, was going to break. I don't know what you'd have had to do to break it, but it would have took something. All right, show you more. All right, folks, more stuff to love about this done. So put air in the outside tire over there, no problem. Put air in the outside tire over here with no problem. Decided to do the inside. Of course, somebody didn't line the rims up right. So when you put these things on, the holes, the big hand holes should be lined up. That way you can get to the valve stem on the inside. So people do stuff and they don't care. But anyway, we did get air in the outside tire, so I think it'll be okay. All right, folks, I didn't film that one coming off, but here it is. It is off and on the ground. So we'll do some checking on this, because I think it's actually a single tire bed. The way that somebody's welded them flares on it, but as narrow as the bed is, I don't know if Homes ever made a 440 for a single wheel truck, but there's a good chance they did, 3/4 ton. So anyway, we're gonna do some checking on it, but that's a really nice bed in really nice shape. I've got somebody interested, but if they don't take it, it's gonna be up for sale for sure. And anyway, somebody needing one, let me know. But the truck, so I got another issue now. So I don't know what happened in the process here. All I did was pull it up, take the bed off, took the emergency brake loose, but there's no pressure on it really. So this wheel spins backwards good, but don't want to come forward good. And it is just jamming up. And it started doing that before I pulled the bed off. When I backed up, it was fine. When I go forward, it's when it's jamming. So, but it's just this side, which sort of might, I think that rules out any gear issues, maybe. Yeah, anyway. So we'll pull this side off and go ahead and maybe pop the axle out and see if the maybe there's something inside the brake drum that's locking it up or something. It's hard to say, but either way, we'll fix it. It's not like it's a big issue. I mean, I think it's just a corporate 14-bolt rear anyway. And I've got a rear, but the rear I got's in a dually, so it's wider. So as you can see, this is cab and chassis. It curves in and goes straight. And somebody, I don't know who done it. I don't know if it was the manufacturer where the bed was put on. I don't see a cab and chassis build tag inside, which, you know, a lot of times what it'll have, the yellow sheets. I'm sure everybody's seen them that's messed with these things, but this thing has been plated. As you can see, what looks like, well, it's half inch plate all the way down the top of the frame, and it don't stop here. And you can see they took the cross members off and bolted them back on. It goes completely under the cab all the way up to, I think, where it starts doubling up. Yeah, there's a little ways back from here is when this frame becomes boxed and it comes forward. So it comes all the way to there, which is under the cab here somewhere. And the crazy thing is the entire bottom's done that way too. So that means that they redone. Okay, they did not take them off. They stopped, and then they put this bracket down and around, and it comes back up. So to tie everything together, and that's pretty odd to do all that work. But yeah, the half-inch plate entirely down the back. And you know, these things have been notorious for cracking, like on wheel lifts, on rollbacks, when you put a lot of weight on the wheel lift and it picks up on the cab and pushes down on the back, so you're taking all the weight off, and they do crack. So somebody definitely was prepared when they done this one. I'd seen something else somewhere that surprised me too. They done some other boxing and stuff on this thing I've seen, and I don't know where it's at, but when I find it I'll show you. But anyway, can't believe that they went out of the way to do all that work. But all right, Nana, check it out for me. So we've got to figure out what's wrong with the rear now, or what's wrong with that side over there. Makes no sense whatsoever to me. But, you know, things happen, so it's not that big of an issue. And worst comes to worst, I'll pull the gears out, and as long as the axles are good, because they're shorter, and the housing's good, we'll fix it with the parts we got. But I think I'm hoping it's going to be something pretty simple. And I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, so that's where we're at, and in the next video we'll probably throw the bed back on, the other bed, see how that looks. I want to do some prepping here first and get things ready and the way I want them before I do it. And but we will get it figured all out, and I'll show you what happens on the rear too. We'll figure that out. So all right, appreciate everybody watching. Till next time, bye.